Well, ladies and gentlemen, I know I have missed the last couple of races, but your boy is back to commentate for the final race here. And what a journey it has been so far. From the very first lights out this season, we've witnessed a championship defined by unpredictability, relentless competition, and moments of pure brilliance. Different winners, dramatic strategy calls, late race twists, safety cars, and no single driver ever has able to fully break away from the rest. This season has been shifted a week after week, and the pendulum has swung different ways. We've seen dominant drives, surprise victories, chaotic races that turn the standings upside down, and through it all, the championship battle has continued to tighten up. Drivers like Misha, Fireblaze, and Stevan have all stood on the top step before, showing incredible pace throughout the season. Sasha Hood has been consistently dangerous, always in the fight when it mattered most. JSR Rubber has been relentless too, always there, always scoring and always applying the pressure, even though he's had a few blunder races himself, especially in the Nathan leg or the triple. I think it was the I can't remember what it was called, but it was the triple header, Monaco, Monza, Imola, when Robbie Jacobs lost a few points that day too, and he DNF'd. And that's when Hattikas was the one that strives. Hattikas, who arrives here at the top of the standings, not through dominance, but through consistency, composure, and delivering results when it mattered the most and when it counted. So despite all of that, after an entire season of racing, we arrive at the final round with 6 drivers still in contention for the championship. What is this? Is this 2010 all over again, or do we had 5 drivers in contention for the Drivers' Championship? Because one of them dropped out. I can't remember who it was now, back in 2010, who dropped out. There was Vettel, Alonso, Hamilton, Button, Webber, and somebody else was involved as well, but unfortunately for them, they dropped out. But in the last race of the season, there were about 4 or 5 drivers going for the championship, and it was Sebastian Vettel who came out on top. Mark Webber in 2010 led the championship for a long time, but he started to make mistakes, didn't he? And especially the second half of the season when things went wrong for Webber, because he had a big championship lead over Sebastian Vettel, Fernando Alonso. I think Korea was one of them too, when Mark Webber smashed into the wall and took Rosberg out that day too. And it was a shame for Mark Webber, because I really like Mark Webber. He was one of my favourite drivers back then in the past, and I was hoping that he could win a championship as well. Underrated driver, but a second driver, I dare say. And his last season was in 2013 as well. And he didn't win in 2013. His last win was Monaco 2012 for Mark Webber indeed. And Sebastian Vettel won the championship here in 2010. But the lights are about to go away very, very quickly then. No formation up. It's all go, go, go. And the lights are away for the final race of the season. Here we go. JSR Rubber is right behind us. We head down in towards turn 1 we go there. They're all ghosted through, but Sasha and Fireblaze side by side coming through. Turn 1 we go there. They're all clean, all unscathed so far as we head through turn 2 and turn 3. There's contact. Online has gone for a spin at turn 2 and turn 3. As you can see, Sasha rides the back of Stefan as we dive in towards turn 5. Late to the brakes he goes as they still remain side by side. Bit of contact between those two there, but Stefan has been demoted down into P3. It's a racing ball 1-2. As look at this, Stefan is back in the slipstream as we head down to the long straights we go. In towards turn 7 we go on the brakes, as we can see the Ferrari back down the inside there, but Sasha trying to hold it around the outside, and there is his teammate Robert as well. We're going 3 abreast almost, all elbows are. Remember, this is the first lap of the race. You can't afford to make any contact. A 58 lap race ahead of us, and there's already some action going on here as we head down in towards turn number 9 we go, as we see the Red Bull and Fireblaze trying to go around the outside of Stevan. Stevan's going to shuffle backwards again. He has lost 2 places. Robert and Fireblaze have took advantage, and Leonard has retired from this race already. Is that going to be a safety car, I wonder? And it is a VSC. A VSC has been deployed because Leonard is out of the race already. And what a first lap that was. Elbows out between all those guys. But Ryan stays ahead. Sasha P2, Robbie Aquas P3, Fireblaze P4, Stefan P5, and Hattikas is P6. That is the top 6 there for the drivers in the championship. Milan Langer is P7. The former champion of JSR is P7. Rietok in P8, the Portuguese driver. Mark in P9, Brewdog P10, and Josko P11. With Kick in P12, Online P13, Ralph, Mum and Nick, and Glowstick. That is your top 16. So the virtual safety car has came out to neutralise this race after a dramatic start, but Leonard has crashed already in this race then, as the drivers there slow it down, coming to a halt at a snail's pace before they can pin it once again. So we're just waiting for the green flags to wave and flutter before we can signal once again. But Robert and Fireblaze on the hard compound tyres. That is bad news for Stefan. He did not want to get put behind those two, considering they are on the hard compound tyres. So that is an advantage or disadvantage that Stefan has suffered already. But DRS is enabled. We get racing once again. And already elbows out between these two. As the racing ball goes defensive on the inside there. Here comes Robert down the inside, steaming through on Sasha. The wheel to wheel out on turn 7 they go. Super close between the two there. As Robert tries to split both racing balls. But he has the DRS now on the back of one of them, and he's still wheel to wheel there with Sasha as we head down towards turn 9. Sasha goes a bit deeper towards the corner, allowing Robert to slip through on the inside as he goes up into P2. That's very critical for his race to split up both racing balls. He is absolutely flying on those hardcore power tyres as the two Mercedes are wheel to wheel, but one of them is off the track as he comes on, makes contact with the Williams there as well on Mark, and unfortunately for him, he has lost a place there too. So both Williams or both Mercedes, both drivers getting their elbows out, and one of them had to take a avoiding action there and go off the track. So lap 3 out of 58 is a long way to go in this race, and so far every single driver has been aggressive. The car will be like a boat in this race because it's fuel tanks as well, as some drivers are trying to underfuel to anticipate to a safety car, because the less fuel they have, the better for way to D. But Sasha not giving up yet against Robbie Jacobs, who is on the hardcore power tyres. Kick, who's always a factor, as he's won a couple of races this season, but hasn't always been here. He's tried to go wheel to wheel with Josko, the exit of turn 5, but Kick hasn't got the exit he needs though. He's still wheel to wheel with the RP driver of Josko, who is quick himself. But Sasha in P3 trying to dispatch Robbie Jacobs, but now he's stuck behind him. He's in a difficult situation because Robbie Jacobs is on the hardcore power tyre, so Sasha would dearly love to be overtaking him, and he's got the DRS there, and Sasha might go through again on Robbie Jacobs. Robbie Jacobs had a horrific exit at the exit there of turn number 7, and Sasha goes back up into P2. So once again, it is a racing ball 1-2, and Josko and Olai going wheel to wheel there. Olai was last week's race winner in the Kick Sauber. He has been getting better and better, and so far he's currently running down in P13, and he's right behind Josko too, who's trying to defend against the Kick Sauber driver, but he's on the hardcore power tyres, is Josko. The gap between the top two is 0.8 of a second there. This is going to be a bit difficult because they're in a conundrum, the top two, who are trying to fight for this championship. They're trying to work together, but trying to... It's so difficult. It's like an oxymoron, really, when the top two are trying to work together, but they're in a championship fight. So what is the scenario between those two, and how is it going to play out towards the end of the Grand Prix? They've got the track position, which is very, very crucial now, and they could try and control this race. So maybe Sasha and Ryan will play fair now, but fight later. Remember 2016 with Nico Rosberg versus Lewis Hamilton. They were Mercedes 1 and 2, but Hamilton held the pack. As we see Glowstick in the background there, trying to attempt to move on Ralph for P15. The newcomer of Glowstick is here. He's got the DRS on the back of the McLaren driver. He pulls the left-hand side, and he performs a nice overtake as he goes up into P15 ahead of the McLaren driver of Ralph, who did score a podium a couple of races beforehand. But unfortunately for him on this occasion, he is running in last place. Is the McLaren of Ralph, the Finishman, as we go back towards the top end of the field there. So it's all settling down now. It was a chaotic start, absolute volatile start there from every driver. But luckily, nobody, including our championship rivals, are in a spin or have made contact with each other. So all of them keep pointing in the right direction. The top 6 in the championship are top 6 in this race. And I need to get out. I need to open up the championship standings then. So Robbie Jacobs is P2 in the championship standings. As it stands right now, my maths is absolutely terrible. I have no idea what the situation is. So I've got about 50 laps to try and understand who is going to be the world champion here in JSR. Khatakas, who is 6th, who's 1st in the championship with 185 points. He could potentially lose the championship against Robbie Jacobs because Robbie Jacobs is only about 7 points behind in the championship. So Robbie Jacobs is trying to go for his 3rd championship, I believe, here in JSR. Ryan and Sasha do not have a championship to their name, and I don't think Stefan does either. Khatakas doesn't. Here comes the Racing Bull drivers as they swap around, and Sasha goes up into 1st place there. That's a nice, neat overtake. There's no need to be fighting hard at this stage in the race. Try and keep it controlled, and try and obviously secure that track position. Don't want to be fighting too hard at the other stage because there's no need to really. It's just pointless to fight so hard. And now we've got Kick on the back of Mark headed down in towards turn 9. So let's see if the Williams driver or McLaren driver can pull a move against the Williams. He does. He goes up into P9, or P11, sorry, in turn 9. I wonder if Kick in P10 could be a factor towards this race too. Could he be a threat and try a challenge for the top of the field? Because we know he's very quick, and he's had previous wins here too in JSR, so he could be one to watch as well here in this race. 16 drivers in this race, and we're on lap 5 at 58, so there's plenty of action to go in this race, a long way. But we've got a mixture of people on the hard and medium power tyres. I presume this is going to be a 2-stop strategy, or maybe a 1-stop, but we'll see who performs a 1-stop. And the 1-stop strategy could be slower, as you've got to preserve the tyres, look after them, and make sure you take them a long way in the course of a Grand Prix. But the 2-stop strategy can be beneficial. I have tried a 2-stop strategy in the 50% race, and it has paid dividends for me before. And the tyres around here, the skyrocket so hard in the course of a Grand Prix with only 28 or 29 laps in the race. So tyre wear is going to be the one to watch out for in this race too, and we'll see who is a victim of that. But so far, it's a big DRS train. But Ralph has lots of DRS at the back of glow stick, so he's fallen out of the DRS train. Ralph in Ollie in P13. They're the man that won last week's race in the JSR, and he's currently down to P13, trying to progress forwards, but seemingly stuck in that DRS train. And it's super hard to execute moves whilst being stuck in a DRS train too, and it's going to be very difficult to try and perform moves from there as well, hoping that the guys in front of him make mistakes too for good measure, but it doesn't seem that way. It was the Belgian Grand Prix, and it was Ollie who won ahead of Esteban, and Khatakas was P3 indeed. Mr. Consistent Khatakas, as he's taking multiple podiums before here in the JSR. Mexico, and also back in the Espana Grand Prix, didn't go his way either. Neo Steins has also been the one to watch as well. And Power Seaman Misha won the Spanish Grand Prix too, and I think it was one of his first wins of the season, or second win of the season, because he won also the United States Grand Prix. Do you know what? Misha has been a big threat too. Misha is not here tonight, so he is not a threat in this race, but the Racing Bull drivers are swapping around for first and second place there. So Ryan leapfrogs his teammate ahead of Sasha. Those two Dutchies, or should I say Norwegian drivers, are working, Norwegian Dutchmen are working together there, but here comes Sasha then with the DRS back on his teammates, and he'll slip back ahead of his Racing Bull then, as Ryan knows not to defend too hard against his teammate, because there's just no point. Just work together at this stage, just try and control the pace at the front of the field and remain in track position, because that could be handy later on in the race as well. So it's nice teamwork going on, nice harmony between the two there. Who's that in front of us going wheel to wheel? That is Kick up the inside of the Mercedes, gets a better run, but the Mercedes is late on the brakes there, and Kick was not able to make the move successfully either, so he stays in P10 behind Ria Tuck as well. The Portuguese driver defended beautifully against the McLaren driver who tried to go up the inside. Remember, Narain Kartikeyan and Nico Rosberg crashed at a particular part of the track too, for good measure. There was a big crash indeed there. The speed difference between the HRT and the Mercedes was mighty indeed. The HRT was one of the worst cars back in 2012, but Nico Rosberg went over the top of Kartikeyan, and luckily both drivers were okay. I do believe that was Kartikeyan's last race too, back at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. But as we head down in towards turn 5, Esteban is losing time now. The gap is 1.9 seconds. That's bad news for Khatakas, because the guys in front of him are pulling away. So this is a move then for Khatakas. It's very important to sail past him and try and catch up towards the top 4. That's what he needs to do now, try to catch up. As we see the background, now there comes the McLaren, and Mercedes is a late move again from Kick, and this time he is successful as he moves himself up into P9. As the two Racing Bulls then once again might swap around. No, they don't. Ryan just tucks in behind his teammate and stays behind him for the time being. And we've got Milan Langer and Brewdog there swapping places. Milan Langer has been demoted down into P8 there, with Brewdog in P7. Then the Mercedes man making a move against the Haasman. Maybe the mini compound tyres at this stage, when it is too early. But Milan Langer has gone wide there through turn number, I think it is 12 there. So unfortunately for him, has lost a little bit of time. Maybe struggling on these mini compound tyres. This track is a tyre killer indeed. And maybe being in the dirty air, the guy in front of him is not helping his course either, as he's got Kick right behind him too for company, and Kick is trying to force moves there, trying to go up the field. So the top two are on the mini compound tyres, and they're still showing some significant pace there and keeping the guys behind. So this is good tyre management there for the top two, keeping the gap towards Rubber and Fireblaze. Fireblaze there just lurking in the background in P4. He also has an outside chance of winning this championship. Does Fireblaze in P4? Hello, Omar. Nice to see you in the chat. Hopefully you're doing all right as you're enjoying the action here. We've got a long way to go in this race, and so far the Racing Bull duo control it as we head down in towards turn 6 and turn 7 we go. So far so good between the guys here. I think Robbo and Fireblaze are just biding their time before the mini compound tyres start to drop off and defade as well. So they're just waiting for the drop off there between the two medium runners. But what is going to be the best strategy around here? Is it starting on the mini compound tyres? Is it starting the hard compound tyres? Will it make a big difference in the race? Obviously these guys go much longer. Will the people on the hard compound tyres think about doing that one stop strategy? Will the people on the mini compound tyres do a two stop? We've got a lot of variations in terms of tyre strategies around here. But for one man in P5, the championship leader, Hatakas, is not able to pull the pressure on the guys in front. The gap is 2.1 seconds then. So unfortunately for him, he's losing a lot of time as the Portuguese driver Riatok is in the pit lane to dispose his mini compound tyres. And he's the first one to pit in that gaggle of cars there, trying to the undercut. That is super early to pit to dispose of mini compound tyres, so that could possibly be a two-stop strategy, medium hard for him. Right then, back on board with the two Racing Bull drivers. They just maintain the track position, just playing this carefully, being calculated, being methodical, knowing when to attack, when to defend as well. So they're just playing their cards at the right moment as well. It's a high-speed game of chess around here, and they're not moving any piece of the board whatsoever. They remain as they are so far inside the top two. And this is exactly what they need as well. Just try and work together at these stages of the Grand Prix, even though they're both in a championship fight. It is quite ironic indeed, or a bit of a juxtaposition there, when the top two, it's counterintuitive what they've got to do, but they've got to do it as well. It may be painful in the short game, but in the long game it'll work out in the end as well between the top two. Bobby Jacobs there in P3 just sitting patient. But right now the race is being led by Sasha with Ryan Benink in P2 and JSR up in P3, and that's a huge for the championship. Khatikas, championship leader, currently not safe in his position so far in P5. Rubber, the biggest threat right now, gaining strong points, and Sasha Hood leading the race, currently in a title winning position if this holds, and Fireblaze is right in the fight, applying pressure. Stefan P6 still a contention just behind the main pack, and Misha obviously not visible here tonight either. He's out the standings, and what this means is with P1 50 points, P2 36 points, P3 30 points, and if Sasha wins this race, he is very likely to take the championship depending where Khatikas finishes. Robbie Jacobs is P3, also in a strong position. If he moves forwards, he becomes a serious title contender as well. The gap between first and second place is 40 points, not 7, or not 7 like it was in the usual championship. Not in the usual point scoring system. There we go. Kick moves ahead of Milan Langer, so the McLaren driver moves forwards once again, as Milan Langer is struggling there in the Haas, a former champion, the man that has got the most wins in JSR, the man that co-founded this league as well, and this man with the longest hair has done a mega job indeed to carry this league forward till 2026, because this league has been around since 2021 or 2022 and it is still going strong. I know it had a dip in attendance, but all the loyal people are still here indeed, including me, so it's very nice to see that the league is still going strong there. Milan Langer, of course, a popular character, a popular racer, a popular guy, and a popular commentator in the paddock indeed, and he is one of the best commentators and a great racer indeed is the Dutchman there in P9. Had the pleasure of meeting this man in real life, and trust me, he's a very nice person indeed. That's enough on Milan Langer Glaze. I had to do it indeed, but I don't feel like I give enough praise. But here we go then, back on board with the top two. It's just still so far. Nothing major is going to happen. Obviously, in the course of a race, in the first or second stint, especially in this 100% race, nothing spectacular is going to happen. It's just tyre management, just keeping those tyres babysit those tyres, but Ryan there hits the back of Sasha as well for good measure coming out of turn 6 and turn 7 then. So this is a big chance now for maybe Robert to get past. Maybe Ryan just misjudged his braking point there as well, which hit the back of his own teammate. But you can see Robert just applying the pressure. Maybe the two Racing Bulls are starting to feel the pressure, starting to feel the heat from the man behind him. The Bulger driver is on his way, attacking very shortly. Brewdog gets ahead of Esteban as he puts himself up into P6 ahead of the Ferrari driver. So Esteban is dropping backwards there in the Ferrari. Those juice on the mini compound tyres are starting to go. Unfortunate for him at this point in the race too. Now Kick is right behind in the McLaren on those hard compound tyres, but as you can see there, Esteban is just bleeding so much time, losing so much time too. He's not able to keep up with the guys in front. Brewdog is doing a mega job so far in the Mercedes. The next target is Hartikas, and Hartikas is not doing enough to secure this championship. He's P5, he's vulnerable. He's currently losing the championship as it stands in this race, and Brewdog is currently losing his eyesight of the track as well. He goes wide out of turn number 1. Somebody's made a mistake. Is that Milan? No, it can't be. Silly me. I'm not quite sure why I said that. He's in the pit lane. But was that Glowstick or was that Josko who made a mistake at turn 1? I'm not quite sure who that was because that was a very brief yellow flag and it went in immediately as well. So somebody became a cropper down at turn number 1. I'm not quite sure who. But back on board with the guys at the front of the field. All these guys start to bunch up as well. Khatakas is not able to go forwards in this race either. He's being left behind in the dusk. As we see, the McLaren driver Kick move ahead of Esteban. So nice progress indeed from Kick. Slowly but surely picking the drivers off one by one. And he may be setting his sights now on Brewdog for P6. Or Esteban is coming back at the McLaren driver as we head down in towards turn 9. So Milan Langer has joined in P16, and for some unknown reason, this Dutchman is on the soft compound tyres. So it's a very short stint on the soft compound tyres. I'm not quite sure why he's opted to go that route, but I don't think he'll pay him dividends later on. He may be very quick in about 3 laps time, but those soft compound tyres are fragile, and those soft compound tyres will be decaying very, very quickly as well. So I don't think that that's the right strategy for Milan. And Esteban is the first driver in this race to pick up a penalty, and I think Esteban did that. Yeah. So there is a glitch on the pit lane entry. So basically the glitch is when somebody touches the curb on the inside. You don't cut the corner, but if you touch the curb on the inside, you're guaranteed a warning or a penalty. So I think Esteban may have fallen victim to that as well. But as it stands right now, Khatakas, the championship leader, is in trouble. Sasha Hood leads the race. Robert is right there in 3rd place, and the double points on the table. So the title swing is swinging corner by corner here in Abu Dhabi as well, as we see Brewdog right behind Khatakas. This is bad news for Khatakas, and his championship could be waving bye very, very soon as well, unfortunately, here in Abu Dhabi. The man has done a mega job the whole season, but when it matters most here in Abu Dhabi, he hasn't been able to deliver the pace. And now the Mercedes gets past him, it goes up into P5 and ahead of Khatakas there as well. So that's definitely him losing the championship, but it's all about the guys inside the top 4. Which one of these 4 is going to win the championship? It could swing anyway. Look at this, Ryan there struggling as Robert, the 2 hard compound tyres now starting to apply the pressure on the medium runners. Maybe the medium compound tyres are starting to fade away now. It's only a matter of time before we see Robbie Jacobs and Fireblaze there move forwards. But guess what? Brewdog is catching. Brewdog may just bring the DRS back together again and bring the train back together. And this could be crucial for this race as well, because that means Khatakas will be brought back in his train as well. So that's going to be interesting to watch there as well. If Brewdog could do it, he's currently 1.1 seconds away from Fireblaze there in P4. But Fireblaze just sitting patient there. Is the Dutchman, the man that's taking multiple wins as well this season. Robbie Jacobs there in P3, just struggling there at the exit of turn number 5, and Fireblaze is right behind the Bolger driver. Will he force the lunge going down in towards turn 7? He's no longer waiting for the opportunity, he's trying to go for it right now. Can he do it? The answer is no, as Khatakas moves ahead of Brewdog. He outbreaks himself going in towards 6 and compromised in towards 7, which means Mercedes driver might get back ahead, as we see Khatakas have a terrible exit at the exit of turn 7 there, and he does go back ahead. But Fireblaze, will he dare down the inside? No, he won't. He got to be very careful, because these 4 are championship contenders, and it's very easily done, wiping each other out indeed. So they've got to be very careful against themselves and each other as well, because it's easily done making contact with somebody because of desperation, eagerness, ambition ahead of adhesion there as well. Thinking not with your brain, but with your heart. But the DRS then has been brought back together because Brewdog has somehow managed to bring the guys back in contention. Kick is in the back of this DRS trade too. Kick could be a handy driver to watch out for as well, because he's always lightning fast as well, and he's right behind Hartigas. This is bad for news for Hartigas because he can't afford to get pushed down the order that many times. Milan Langer does get ahead of the Mercedes driver, puts himself up into P13 on those soft compound tyres, but he may regret the decision very shortly in this race too. As now we go back on board with these guys at the front of the field. The two Racing Bulls are still in formation, first and second place, but the battle is behind them because Robert, you think Robert on the hard compound tyres should be pressurising Ryan and Sasha. He has the advantage and he has the better grip on those hard compound tyres, so you surely think that maybe this could be a big chance, but these two are playing a very good game so far, just been a roadblock. But Ryan is out of the DRS range, just teetering on the edge there, and it's very crucial for him to stay with the DRS range. He does, he gained half a second there on that straight alone. The gap was 1 second, now it's 5/10 per second, so you can really tell that the DRS is very effective and very strong in this race, as Milan and Stevan are fighting these to make contact back at the British GP. Hopefully they don't do the same here as well, as Milan's under massive pressure from the Mercedes on the Ferrari. Here comes the Ferrari driver, wheel to wheel with the Haasman. Milan's got damage. Milan Langer has got damage there as he's understeering in towards Stevan. I don't think Stevan will appreciate that at all, but Stevan does get ahead. Milan Langer is not giving up just yet, but he has to. He's understeering very wide through there with the lack of downforce on that front wing. But Stevan does get himself up into P13 there. So Milan Langer, who was the first one to pit and go on the soft compound tyres, goes off the track as well. Milan Langer is not really enjoying the ride here in Abu Dhabi, but back towards the guys at the front of the field. Robert, for some reason, is losing time towards Ryan and Sasha. These two are doing an admirable job in first and second place as well. Not only that, keeping the guys at bay, showing some really strong pace. Here comes Mercedes, looking for a move down the inside. Fireblaze now, contact, and that is Williams of Hartigas. He's broke his wing. Has the Williams broke his wing now? I think he has. Brewdog got sent into a half spin, and Hartigas might have to give the place back. He has. This has gone from bad to worse, and here comes Kick. Goes up the inside in towards turn 6. This has gone from bad to worse for Hartigas. His dreams of winning the championship here at JSR have completely gone down the drain now. He's lost the dead plate, he's down to P7 and not the position he needs to be in right now, unfortunately for him. So this has gone from bad to worse for the Dutchman there. So it's now all eyes to the guys inside the top 4. I wonder how long these two at the front of the field are going to extend their stint on mini compound tyres, because they're running a solid race so far, keeping track position and keeping the guys at bay as well, and they're taking their tyres into such a long stint, which could mitigate the damage towards the end and potentially do also strategy. Can they do also strategy on these mini compound tyres? Others have failed to do so, as they pitted super early in the race there. As we see a battle going down towards turn 1, that is Rietok, who goes off the track there, very wide indeed, as he rejoins ahead of Milan and Langer. A bit of pixel glitch there as well, a bit of graphics glitch on the exit of turn 1 there. They've got to fix that too. But it's still the Racing Bull drivers, Sasha and Ryan, are first and second place there, maintaining the lead of the Grand Prix, doing such a solid result so far. This is good for the team, but elbows out later on in the Grand Prix between those two. I have no idea how this championship is going to play out indeed, because first of all, I've got to figure out the points between the guys in first, second, third, fourth as well. Not right now because it's too early, but I will figure out the points later on the Grand Prix. There is 40 laps left to go in this race, and the race will get very interesting if it's a 50% race, obviously, because we're coming towards the end of it, but it's a 100% race. It's all about durability. This is not a sprint, it's a marathon, in the famous words of Lewis Hamilton back in Azerbaijan 2021, when he said it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Went straight off of turn 1, did the Mercedes driver, or former Mercedes driver, as Gas now makes his pit stop, and it's a JJ Wing. He will not win the championship, unfortunately. His solid efforts have come to an end, and he will not win the championship. It's been a very valiant effort so far for Gas this season. He has done a remarkable job. He's really stepped up to the table this season and delivered some strong, solid results indeed. But when it came to the end in Abu Dhabi, it's just unfolded for him and unravelled, and unfortunately for him, he will not take the championship home. But he can be very proud of his efforts here in JSR, because he was very quick on F1 2024, but this game he has been struggling, evidently so as well, after the performance has dipped from the Dutchman. But he can be very happy indeed for what he's done in JSR. He said himself that he might not win the championship. He bet against himself, so I don't think he'll be too disappointed. But Abu Dhabi certainly not one of his strong tracks at all this season. He's taken about 3 or 4 wins this season as Gas. So, with him out of contention, who's that? Somebody just went out wide there. It was Kick. Yeah, Kick went out wide at the exit of turn 12 there, so lost a bit of time, and he outbroke himself there too. Very easy to do so, because you carry a lot of speed in the corner and you're going to get the brakes immediately too. So he has lost a bit of time towards Bootdog. The gap is 9 tenths, but immediately gets himself back in DRS, albeit use the battery there to try and get himself closer towards the top 5. And he would dearly love a podium or a race win. He doesn't care that there's a championship fight going on. He's purely going for the race win. And Kick was a contender as well early this season, back in the Chinese Grand Prix, back in Qatar, back in Baku, when he won the Baku Grand Prix. But he hasn't been here for the whole season either. He has won as well the British GP, I think, this season too. But like I said, he hasn't been here for the whole season. Like they say, it's the calm before the storm, isn't it? Nothing major is going to happen right now. But crucially, the top 2 are just maintaining first and second place. It must be, you know, with 100% race distance, how much fatigue these drivers will suffer as well. Because concentration around the circuit has got to be high, has got to be 100% every single time. Nailing the breaking points, nailing the exit too. Because I know how some drivers can feel the effects of fatigue with the eyes, especially me, because my eyesight, I get a headache every time I look at the screen when I'm league racing. A bit of a headache, my eyes are sore, my fingers are hurting too. You've got to have good muscle strength as well. I know it sounds silly when it comes to F1 game like this, but literally you've got to have good muscle strength. As in the pit lane comes Mercedes driver, that is Brewdog. So interestingly, he has decided to pit early on these hard compound tyres. So this could be a set of new hards or mediums. What is the strategy going to be? So this is a new set of hard compound tyres. So hard, medium for his strategy indeed. Will that pay dividends for him? We'll see. This is what I love about 100% racing, because there's so many options, so many variables as well. Unlike a 50% race where most drivers are stuck in the DRS train, you can look for different strategies and options as well, because you've got 100% distance and you've got a lot of time to make up as well. You've got literally 58 laps to decide how to play what the outcome is going to be as well, with different strategies on the table. I know it's the same scenario being stuck in the DRS train, but may the survival of the fittest come out on top and later in the race as well. But like I said, back to my point, people on the wheel have got to have good muscle strength as well, because the arms can ache massively as well, especially in a 100% race. And the guys who have practiced well, because obviously these guys practice too, imagine practicing and doing a 100% race as well. That must be tiring indeed. I know I raced in the wheel before, and my arms were dead towards the end of the race. That was a 50% race as well, so full credit is due to the drivers there. You've got to have good muscle strength indeed, and endurance. But finally we see somebody pit. It is Sasha, the race leader, is in the pit lane, and this is when the race shifts in momentum and swing, as now one of the race leaders have pitted. Lap 22 out of 58 then, as he dives into the pit lane to get on to a set of the hard compound tyres. Surely you think this could be this is a one-stop strategy, because I don't think there's no point in a two-stop anymore. I think we're past that window of a two-stop, so I think a one-stop strategy is on the cards for Sasha. And where will he rejoin? He should get ahead of that train. For his sake, I hope he does. He can't afford to get muddled around in that train. Here comes the pack, and we'll see if Sasha rejoins ahead or behind. Does he get ahead? Yes, he does. And he gets ahead of closely. That was very, very crucial for his race, to rejoin ahead of that pack, because if he didn't, then Ryan could get the undercut on him. As Glowstick goes wide, and here comes Stevan. That's an easy move there for the Dutchman as he gets past the Scotsman. So Stevan now puts P8, and here comes Mercedes driver Brewdog, who's on a new set of the hardcore powered tyres. So crucially, Brewdog did not get the undercut on Sasha. He may have got stuck in that traffic, which may have prevented him to overtake Sasha and delayed his progress too for good measure. So Brewdog there, by pitting one lap earlier, did not get the undercut on Sasha. This has worked beautifully for Sasha indeed. But now Brewdog needs to dispatch the Ferrari driver as Olai is on the inside going in towards turn 10, or turn 9 should I say. And he goes up inside the top 10 there, does the Kickstarter driver. His pace as well has been absolutely phenomenal so far. In not oh, I scratched my arm so much, I got I'm bleeding. my hand is itchy. I've been scratching so long, I've only just realised that I'm bleeding. So it's nothing major, don't worry about it. But that's what happens when you itch for too long. So Ryan is in the pit lane too to get rid of his medium compound tyres, and let's see where will he slot in comparison towards these guys. There he is under the tunnel. The only pit lane. Ryan's retired. He's in. Oh my goodness me! He has crashed in the pit lane tunnel. Can you believe it? I was about to say there has been no incidents under the tunnel in F1 in real life, but Ryan has crashed. Can you believe it? How has this shifted the championship? And how has this disadvantaged his teammate too for good measure? Wow, unbelievable indeed. Oh, what has he done? How on earth has he done that? Was he a bit too optimistic out of the pit lane? I must say so. A massive blunder for JSR Ryan, and I can't believe what we are seeing here tonight for the Racing Bull driver. He was way out of contention for the championship, but he could have helped his teammates, Stevan, in the championship. But now, Sasha. And Sasha has lost his rear gunner. Sasha has lost Ryan, his main component, to beat the other people in the championship fight. He has lost his rear gunner now, and he's all alone in P6. Ryan is out of the race, and what a dreadful end to a season for Ryan. A completely uncalculated, untimely, unforced error for Ryan in P16, as Robert and Fireblaze are now in the pit lane, and this could be bad news for them because they're on the hardcore power tyres and possibly have to shift over to the midi power tyres or do a two-slot strategy. They are on the midi power tyres, but Ryan Benink is out of this race, and what an absolute shocker. We have lost the main element in this race. Ryan Benink made a clumsy mistake in the pit lane exit and has brought out a safety car in this race, and I wonder how has this shifted this second half of the Grand Prix. That's our first safety car in this race. Hazard back in the pit lane to put on a new set of the hardcore power tyres. We are now halfway in towards this race, and what is the situation going to be like? Fireblaze is on a new hardcore power tyres, so that's a definite two-stop, because in the rules and regulations you have to use more than one tyre compound. Robert Jacobs in P1 on the medium compound tyres. Those mediums cannot go towards the end of the race, or maybe they can, but they'll be dead towards the end, so he'll be suffering as well. So that's another pit stop incoming. This has worked in the hands of Sasha in P3, because Fireblaze has definitely got to pit again. Robert Jacobs has possibly got to pit again. So has this championship now swifted in the favour of Sasha in P3? I would love to see Ryan's footage, because Milan Lang is saying, Ryan, are you dead ass serious? Ryan has left the session now. I was about to mention as well that I've never seen a pit stop, collision or contact during the tunnel. Ever since it was introduced back in 2009, the only pit stop in the tunnel, and I've never seen an incident there before in my life either. But Ryan's the first one to do so. How on earth do you do such a thing like that? It's a conundrum for Ryan in P16, but how is Sasha going to feel about this now that safety car has came out? What is Josko doing? A 10-second time with no yellow flags. Well, what a blunder to his race as well. So I'll take a short break because the safety car is out. Plus, I'm doing solo commentary tonight, so it's a long, long way to go, especially in a 100% race. Right guys, so this is the scenario right now. We're right in the middle of a pivotal moment here in Abu Dhabi and the race and potentially the championship. It's all about deciding on strategy. JSR Robert leads the race on medium compound tyres, but the big question is, as the safety car comes in, are those tyres going to make it to the end? Maybe not. Fireblaze and Peter on the hard compound tyres, but crucially he has to make another stop because he got to adhere to the tyre rule, more than one tyre compound. And then the wild card Sasha in P3 on hard compound tyres. He can take them towards the end with no pit stop required. And what this means, this race has completely flipped on its head because track position says one thing and strategy says another. Robbie now leading has guaranteed to lose track position with another stop, and Fireblaze is also not safe too, as the pit stop timing was unnecessary for him as well. And Sasha sitting perfectly in P3, track position and tyre advantage, which means he doesn't have to stop again. Double points on the line. This is enormous for Sasha to take the lead after the stops. He becomes a serious title contender. Robbie missed for the gap before pitting again, and Fireblaze needs to be perfect timing to stay in the fight too. But here we go around the final corner, and Sasha almost side by side with Fireblaze too. Fireblaze caught napping there as we head down in towards the table, but Sasha backs out. Mark Danny and Esteban, contact between the two Dutchmen there as Esteban is off the track. Mark gets ahead, and here comes Mercedes driver Brewdog taking on Esteban, taking on Mark as we go wheel to wheel. Out of turn 4 we go, as Brewdog stays behind, going down in towards turn 5. We go on the brakes again as Mark stays ahead of the Mercedes driver, whilst his teammate there in a fight, and Grosstick has been shuffled down into P13, and now he's under pressure there from Ralph at P13. Amos Kick right behind the Ferrari driver, but Robbie Jacobs has pulled away from Fireblaze. He has got to make use of those medium compound tyres as Olai has moved up into P8 ahead of Nick there. There's a massive scrap going on towards the back of the field as we talk on the soft compound tyres. There's a few people on the soft compound tyres in this mid stint then, and they're trying to utilise that soft compound tyre to their advantage as we see the Mercedes then still trying to go around the outside. That's a lovely move, but he goes deep in the corner but makes it stick. He's ahead now and goes up into P9. That's a lovely move, but something like that will put a lot of stress on your tyres as well, because you carried a lot of understeer into the corner, putting so much unnecessary load and weight on those tyres there, especially the right front tyre as well, which takes a punishing and a beating too for good measure. As the Ferrari in front of us is Esteban now under pressure from Kick looking very racy. Esteban did not pit for some reason. I'm quite surprised why Esteban didn't pit, but now he's under massive pressure from Kick. What is he going to do? Left, right, or stay behind as we head through turn where we go now? Kick trying to line up on Esteban, trying to make the move. He's right behind him and pushing him through the corners there, telling Esteban, get a move on, go. But Esteban is saving battery there too, and he's been under, Kick is not really happy about this, as here goes Olai up the inside in towards turn 5, and Kick tries to go around the outside there. Why is Glowstick saying even to me? You should be racing Glowstick. But Kick now wheel to wheel with the Ferrari driver, and here comes the Kick Sauber. We're 3 abreast there as Kick goes left to defend against the Kick Sauber, who is also making moves here as we see the Mercedes on the inside, and Kick goes deep, and here comes Olai around the outside going in towards turn 7. Can Ola get the better exit, better traction on those soft compound tyres? No, he can't. And now he's under pressure from the guy behind him, which is Viatok, as we now go on board with Ola. He's trying to go around the outside kick in towards turn 9. Does he have the grips going on the outside? He can't do it. Maybe he can. No, he can't, because kick there just defends. But all this time battling has lost on the time towards the guys in front. As we see the Red Bull up the inside there too. Is a Haas. It's Milan and Langer trying to go around the outside of Esteban. Both of them once again side by side and in a battle with each other. Bit of barging, bit of contact. But Milan Langer tries to get ahead of Esteban, and he does. Is there a bit of adversity between those two there, because they seem to be barging each other out of the way to Esteban and Milan Langer? Of course, Esteban is being coached by Ven Joke, and that's a big antagonist as well. Big rival, Ven Joke, and also Milan Langer as well. Ven Joke being the 7-time world champion, Milan Langer the 1-time champion. Sasha is right behind Fireblaze, so let's see if he can make a move. He surely does now on those hardcore power tyres, as he's right behind him with the DRS wide open. As the Dutchman there slips up into P2 and gets past him. This is really good news, because the likes of Hatakas are down in P9. And also Fireblaze has got to make a pit stop. Robbie Jacobs will have to make a pit stop too. We are halfway in towards the Grand Prix. It's been a long race indeed, and we've still got halfway left to go in this race. Lap 29 out of 58, and we've had one safety car so far. As Ola now gets ahead of kick. Hopefully no more surprises in this race like 2021. Obviously we know what happened there as well. I've not had the time to talk about the championships being won here in the past either, because obviously we had to start this race immediately. But of course this race was introduced back in 2009. Abu Dhabi Dust Till Dawn race started in the daylight, ended in night time, as we see these two now wheel to wheel. Esteban and Glowstick over to P13 in the Red Bull at turn 14, the famous corner where Raikkonen crashed in practice back in 2021, or should I say Latifi crashed there in the race too, and that sparked and triggered so many reactions. Well, good reactions, bad reactions, mixed reactions, death threats, etc. It was an absolute pandemonium and chaotic last lap that was between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen. The Dutch people loved it and the Brits hated it. I know this disclaimer, I know every single Brit is not really a fan of Hamilton, but Mark gets a 3-second penalty. He's up there in P4, tries to go for a podium in this race, but unfortunately for him, has got the weight on his shoulders now to carry for the rest of the race. A bit of a pixel glitch there as well. I'm not quite sure why this is the case in Abu Dhabi. I'm not quite sure if you guys noticed it, but there is a bit of a glitch there too with the cars. It's like a pixel glitch, a bit of a glitch in the game indeed. But Fireblaze there. We need to go back. Yes, he will. He comes back on Sasha, and he goes back up into P2. I wonder if those two are applied together. I'm not quite sure, because I think Sasha is in a Discord call. There we go. Discord call. There we go. But Robbie Jacobs, crucially on this stint, is pulling away. So there's two ways how this is going to go. Robbie Jacobs is either going to pit again or go to the end. But if he goes to the end of the Grand Prix, those mini compound tyres will be absolutely shredded towards the end, and they'll be absolutely useless too. Which means Fireblaze has got to pit again. Remember guys, Fireblaze has done hard. So he has definitely got to pit again onto a new set of the mini compound tyres. So exclude him, but Robbie Jacobs in P1. Well, he's got his work cut out unfortunately, because he's not able to bridge the gap over Sasha, which he needs to do, because I don't think there's any chance for Robbie to win this Grand Prix unless he has a massive pace advantage towards the end. If he does make another pit stop, he's not really pulling the daylight between himself and Sasha in P3. You know what? It's very difficult to try and bridge a massive gap, especially on a new set of mediums and new set of hards, because there's not much pace delta between the medium compound tyres and the hard compound tyres. Only a little bit. But of course, the hard compound tyres are super durable in the span of a Grand Prix. But unfortunately, Robbie Jacobs was caught at the wrong time in the wrong place on the hard compound tyres. So was Fireblaze too, and they had no option but to pit. Oh, what's going on here? Massive changes, as we see now. Sasha go back up into P2, Fireblaze P3. Brewdog has run a excellent race, and this man could be on course for a podium in this race. What is his strategy like? Hard. So he's got to pit again. So some people's races have been ruined here by the safety car. The safety car came at the wrong time in the wrong place for them on their strategy call, and has completely put them at a massive disadvantage too. The person with the big advantage is Sasha, because he is P2 and he could take those tyres towards the end. He's done medium hard, so he could definitely take those tyres towards the end of this Grand Prix with no problems at all. But when Robert does make his pit stop, how fast will he be towards in the Grand Prix? Will he be able to try and close the deficit down? Can he catch Can he catch Sasha Blaze? Come on, Jamie, it's been a long day, sorry. Can he catch Sasha in P2 once he puts on a new set of tyres, if it's mediums or hardcore power tyres? How does this race stand? I think that Sasha has a big chance to win the championship now, considering the way things are going, and the storyline is starting to now write itself up as we see these guys fighting over the midfield there. Khatikas, unfortunately, in this last race hasn't had his way, had damage in the opening segment, as Fireblaze goes back up into P2 ahead of Sasha. I think Sasha knows that the top two are heavily compromised in this race, because he knows the top two have got to pit again, and he doesn't need to fight necessarily hard against the guys in first and second place, but as long as the guys in front doesn't pull a massive gap. Robert, the gap just seems to stabilise between himself and Sasha. The gap is 2 seconds. He's not able to extend any more in this race, unfortunately, and that's the disadvantage he has. What he had to do in this race is try and build a massive gap before he had to pit again onto a new set of compounded tyres, but unfortunately for him, there's not much of a pace deficit or pace delta between the medium and the hardcore powered tyres, and he had to suffer in this phase of the Grand Prix. Lap 33 out of 58. This is my first time commentating for 100% race since God knows how long. I can't remember the last time I commentated for 100% race, but let me tell you, I did it back in 2019, and it was short qualifying, and it was a wet race. Can you imagine how long the race was? It was a 100% race in Belgium, and it was wet, the whole of it. It's on my channel indeed, and it was super long. And Brewdog inherits a 3-second penalty for track infringements as well, which is not going to do any favours towards the latter part of the Grand Prix. So Fireblaze has brought the gap down to 1.2 seconds there, just indicating how good his pace is, but he himself is just in a compromised situation in P2 there. Not the situation he wants to be in, of course. So for context, for people just joining, the top two have got to pit again, because one, Robbie Jacobs may not take those tyres towards the end, and if he does, well, Sasha would definitely defeat him and get the upper hand on him. And Fireblaze has done hard, so he's got to pit one more time to go on the soft core power tyres or medium core power tyres. The soft core power tyres just holding their own there as well, so they're not really degrading as much as I thought they'd be. But they're doing a long way in the course of a Grand Prix as well. It's a long way to go on those soft core power tyres. Those people who are the soft core power tyres there. Brewdog extends the bar once again. He just drives off the track there, turn number 1, so maybe picks up another track infringement there for the Mercedes driver. He's done such a solid job so far. Do you know what? In the first stint, he was making moves, he was making waves, and he was carving his way through the field, and actually brought the gap down to 1 second as well, because 5th place downwards or 6th place downwards, they lost the DRS towards the guys in front. But Brewdog, with his extraordinary pace, brought the gap down under a second. But in the second half of the Grand Prix, he has picked up multiple warnings and penalties too for good measure, and it hasn't really transpired well into the second half of this Grand Prix. And now Sasha is right behind, because Fireblaze is right behind Robbie Jacobs. Here we go, down it towards turn number 9 we go. This is a move for Sasha for the championship against Fireblaze. The wheel to wheel out of the corner. Fireblaze goes deep, and Sasha goes up into P2 ahead of Fireblaze. That was an absolutely incredible move indeed. Next target is Robbie Jacobs there. Robbie Jacobs pretty much vulnerable, exposed in first place there, and he's going to have a very difficult time indeed, because there's 2 scenarios for him. He's got to pit, or he's got to extend and go towards the end, which is going to be quite an impossibility on those medium compound tyres. Bearing in mind though, we did see the likes of Ryan Sasha do about 20 laps on his medium compound tyres, but it's a massive stretch. There's a lot of tyre saving to do, and you can't afford to do tyre saving, especially around this track, when the guys behind you are continuously pursuing you and fighting you as well. So tyre preservation is not really a necessary key there for Robbie Jacobs in first place. I think Robbie Jacobs has got to accept the situation in this race that his championship may have been truly lost with that time of the safety car as well. Sasha is the one who's in a prime position to win this championship, and it's a championship that's going to go all the way to the wire, unless another safety car comes out that'll bring Robbie Jacobs' Fireblades back in contention. But for the time being now, our focus is on the battle for P1 between these two, and Sasha is looking for a way past against the Belgian driver of Robbie Jacobs, who have won championships here before in JSR. He was the season 10 champion, was the Belgian driver of Robbie Jacobs. He's been on the back foot ever since though. Lost a few races, been a bit hard-headed, got himself in a bit into this as well. He was the season 10 champion in JSR. No, season 8, sorry, and season 11. He was the two-time champion of JSR in the Aston Martin and in the Red Bull. But going for his third championship here in JSR, and so far it's looking very unlikely for Robbie Jacobs there in P1. We've had 5 champions in JSR, and Sasha could be the 6th one. We've had Joke, who has won the first 5 seasons in a row in the Ferrari, a 5-time champion in the first 5 seasons. Then Fireblades finally broke the streak. Fireblades was the season 6 champion in the Aston Martin. As we now head on board with the guys in front, headed down in towards the braking zone of turn number 6 there. Sasha hits the back of Robbie Jacobs. Robbie Jacobs, is he playing games? Or is he struggling those with the compound tyres? As now we exit turn 6 and turns to the chicane. As now the DRS then is wide open for Sasha. Can he make a move? Going down in towards the braking zone. He can't. He has to stay behind and cede the position so far. The Red Joke went back to win the championship in season 7 in the Ferrari. He has won 6 championships for Ferrari. I commentated back in season 9, and I had the ability to announce Red Joke as the season 9 champion when I first made my debut here as well back in season 9 at the British GP and Abu Dhabi. I crowned Red Joke as the champion in season 9. Then season 10, finally Milan Langer won it in the McLaren, and he was Hartenkass's teammate at that time as well. Milan Langer won it 2 seasons ago, and he fully deserved it as well. It was a long time coming there for the Dutchman. He finally got his glory, but this season hasn't gone his way at all so far for the Dutchman there in P15, who is at the back of this train. 21 laps left to go in this race. Glowstick inherits a penalty as we continue riding on board with the guys at the front of the field there, all in a heated battle for first place, and Kick is right behind Tim in 5th place. And here we go then, this could be a move for the change of the lead, and Sasha there pulls to the left hand side to take the lead of the race, and Fireblades on the inside. Oh my goodness me, that was an audacious launch on the inside there, out of control, but still made the corner, and no contact was made thankfully for Fireblades, but he's under massive pressure from Brewdog behind. Brewdog will take advantage as we ride on board with the Mercedes driver headed down towards turn 9. Can he go down the inside? He will. Launch the one on the inside there. Can he make it stick? Fireblades hold up a DLI, but Fireblades' defence has come to an end as Brewdog is up as a piece through the last thing Fireblades needed. And that was all self-inflicted there for the Mercedes, for the Red Bull driver of Fireblades. He sent a launch up the inside, but was out of shape, compromising towards turn 7, and Brewdog was able to take advantage there with full attack against the Red Bull driver. But look at this in the final corner. Brewdog struggling there, and Fireblades once again all at the back of Mercedes driver going down in towards the final corner we go. This is in 2021 there, when we saw Perez defend against Lewis Hamilton. 20 laps to go in the Grand Prix. It looks like Sasha is checking out, and Sasha could be on could be on his course to win the championship, barring any sort of interruptions or safety cars or any changes in this race. This is a championship that Sasha can be very proud of indeed. The Dutchman trying to become the 6th champion in JSR. He has been a very quick driver elsewhere. He has really stepped up his game, has won multiple races this season too, and taken multiple podiums, and he can be very proud of himself as well. The Racing Bull duo are a very strong pair, but sometimes his teammate Ryan can be a bit clumsy sometimes and make mistakes. I don't mean that in an offensive way, Ryan, but it is true. You're a very good driver, you're very handy, you're very handsome indeed, very handy indeed, but sometimes you can make silly mistakes if you're still listening and watching there. But he's about to watch his teammate potentially become a champion here in JSR. There is 20 laps left to go in this race as the timer is ticking down here in Abu Dhabi as it starts to get darker and darker now. The floodlights are on. 15 drivers remain in this race with Sasha in P1, Robbie Jacobs in P2, Brudog in P3, Fireblaze fourth, ahead of Kick, Mark, Hatterkas, Mummy Nick. We haven't really talked about him much in this race. He's running a solid race so far inside the top 10 with Yosko down there in P9, following him too for good measure. But it's been a very controlled race for Mummy Nick so far, and he's right behind the championship leader, who is Hatterkas in P7. Back towards the front end of the field, Robbie was there, still trying to hone down Sasha. Sorry about that, he's trying to close down Sasha, overtake him again for the leader Grand Prix. As we go back on board with Mummy Nick there, but Kick is right behind Fireblaze, two former rivals in SDN, two former championship rivals, and they both are champions in SDN, of course. And Fireblaze is your champion in JSR. Fireblaze, of course, a well-known driver in the paddock. He's been around for such a long time, and he's one of the most liked people in the paddock too. Very, very funny, very nonchalant, very laid-back and chill driver and person indeed. Anybody that knows Fireblaze can vouch for me indeed. He's a very nice person indeed, I must say. Not long to go now, people. This race, you know what? It's absolutely flown by. I thought that this race would drag, but you know what? It's actually gone quite so well. There was 18 laps left to go in this race. We had a short neutralisation with a safety car involved. But it's quiet right now. Nice and peaceful. It's the calm before the storm, before all the missiles start. No, I don't want to say that. My bad. Too early to say that indeed. But of course, Abu Dhabi. Unfortunately, what happened a month ago or two in Dubai and Abu Dhabi are in the same country as UAE, which is United Arab Emirates. Abu Dhabi and Dubai, the two big cities here in the UAE. And obviously, what happened in Dubai was not nice at all, with all the problems going on in the Middle East. But Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Abu Dhabi, Qatar. Hopefully things will get sorted out in the future. And obviously we're supposed to have the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix this weekend and Abu Dhabi Bahrain last weekend, but those two got cancelled indeed. As in the pit lane is Mark to dispose his medium compound tyres, and he has hit the inside curb, which as a result gave him a 3-second penalty. We are now deep. Oh, somebody has spun, and that's not gonna. Who is that? That's a Red Bull driver. It's glow stick. Don't be doing a Latifi and cause the safety car. Do you know what? Imagine if somebody crashed on lap 52 or 4 and caused safety car in the exact same spot. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but you never know. But we are now deep into this title decider, and as it stands, the pendulum has swung dramatically. And Sasha, current leader, is on the hard compound tyres, 16 lap hold, no stop needed, running clean, controlling the pace. And if he stays here, he is effectively winning the championship right now. Robbie Jacobs under huge pressure on mediums, 4th lap hold, still needs to manage these tyres, and only 0.2 behind, because Brewdog is right behind, going down in towards turn 9. It's a move from the Mercedes driver, and it's a very nice move indeed. He puts himself up into P2. This driver, Brewdog, has produced some outstanding overtakes so far in this race, and he's at some mighty pace. He started in P15, he's up into P2. Absolute credit where it's due to the Mercedes driver, and now he's up into P2. Robbie Jacobs there in the clutches of Fireblaze. He started to degrade, and in the pit lane comes Mercedes driver, and off the track goes Kick. Surprising in the pit lane, but of course he's got to do the hard reader strategy as he almost squeezed in the pit lane too for good measure. So Brewdog is in the pit lane right now. Robbie Jacobs is under massive pressure though, because he's got to pass Sasha on track, or hope Sasha makes a mistake, because right now P2 is not enough, and Fireblaze is right behind him too. And Khatterkas is completely out of the fight too. As Robert goes down the inside of turn 5, it's a nice lunge there from Verstappen, Fireblaze, as Robert is right behind in the DRS on the stream. No DRS there. Fireblaze got the DRS, and now Kick is putting pressure on the Ferrari driver as we go down in towards the breaker zone. Fireblaze is up into P2. Robbie Jacobs defends aggressively against Kick. Use the battery he has against the McLaren driver, defended beautifully, and now he has got the DRS on the back of Fireblaze as the about to go wheel to wheel between the Dutchman and the Belgian driver. Robbie Jacobs puts himself back into P2 ahead of Fireblaze. Great scrap going on between these guys here as well. Fireblaze forced to launch down the inside. Oh my goodness me, and it's not a safety car, it's the VSC. As Mercedes drivers crashed at the exit of turn number 1 there. Rear Talk is out of the race. It's a VSC, and this means it could be a cheap pit stop for Robbie Jacobs, Fireblaze, Sasha potentially, Kick. Is anybody going to take the chance? Yes, they are. I think it's a no-brainer, especially for these guys. It's a no-brainer, and Robbie Jacobs has stayed out. Wow, 14 laps left to go in this race, or 15 if you include this one. And he has decided to stay out there on old rubber, which could really hurt him towards the end of this race. Well, he has got to do. That's the only chance. And Stefan's retired. Stefan has retired from this race. He's crashed. And let's see what happened there. He has crashed where Ocon crashed in practice, I think, all those years ago. And he is out of the Grand Prix too. So Stefan has now crashed and out. But the VSC has come to an end, as here comes the people out of the pit lane. Fireblaze on a new set of the mid-compound tyres. Kick on a new set of mid-compound tyres. This is a chase to try and get Robbie Jacobs for first place. Now I've got to figure out the points deficit between those guys as well. So there's a lot of hard work at stake with me, especially as a solo commentator. I've got to figure out everything as well. As we see Kick overtake. Oh, Brewdog's left. Oh, what a shame there for Brewdog. He has left the session, and internet has become the bane of his race. Oh, poor him. He did a remarkable job in this race, but unfortunately all that hard work has been undone by the internet connection problem. So, what is the scenario now? What's the gap between Sasha and Robbie Jacobs? The gap is about 9 seconds. That is the gap. Well, there is 15 laps left to go in this race, and there's so many things at stake in the championship. Hartikas could win the championship. I don't know. No, I don't think he can. I need somebody in the chat to help me with my mathematics, because this is going to be absolutely difficult. So, 50 points for a win, 36 for second place. That is a 14-point deficit. So, as it stands right now, Robbie Jacobs will win the championship as it stands right now. But Sasha has got to hunt down Robbie Jacobs in these last laps to try and have a win for the championship. Robbie Jacobs will win the championship. That's the reason why he stayed out. He has took a massive gamble, and he's going for broke here in this race. It's a massive gamble for Robbie Jacobs in this race. He best hope that Hartikas doesn't catch it. You know what? Hartikas could catch Robbie Jacobs on those older mid-compound tyres. So this is a battle going down to the wire with 14 laps left to go in this race. This title fight has took another turn and twist in this race. This is going to be super epic as Sasha gets past Josko as he moves up into P3 there ahead of the Alpine driver. 14 laps left to go. Can Sasha hunt down Hartikas and Robbie Jacobs? He may get Robbie Jacobs. He will definitely get Robbie Jacobs. But Hartikas, what can he do? Is there any saving for Hartikas in P2? There's a 19 lap deficit between second and third place, and there's a long way to go still. So I think Sasha will definitely get the bait on those two. I think the only chance for Robbie Jacobs. But the thing is, though, do you know what? Was that a blunder for Robbie Jacobs? Should he have pitted and followed Sasha in the pit lane? Because there is no way that in these last 13 laps, Robbie Jacobs has a chance against Sasha on those better hard compound tyres. The new rubber attached to the car, he can be lightning quick towards the end of this race. Rapid in these last 13 laps. And I think Robbie Jacobs should have followed Sasha in the pit lane. That wasn't me choking, by the way. I was about to say just Hood. I wasn't choking. But yeah, Sasha in P3 as he's called. Just Hood is looking very good for him so far for the Dutchman, and he's closing and closing all the time. He's started to eat in the lead massively, and Hartikas is starting to gain time on Robbie Jacobs in first place. And now he's in the DRS range of Robbie Jacobs. So Robbie Jacobs' championship aspirations are starting to fall down the drain. Fireblaze is out of the championship. Misha Ryan is out of the championship. Stevan is out of the championship. So the only drivers here who can win the championship is the top three. But which top three will it be? It looks like the championship trophy is going to a Dutchman. But which one? Because it's going to be Sasha or Hattegas. Robbie Jacobs has no defence against the two Dutchmen because he's on those old degraded mini compound tyres. Hattegas has got to get past right now because he's losing so much time against Robbie Jacobs. Against Robbie Jacobs. And who's that? Who is that? That is Ralph going for a spin there. You know, I really hope there's no more virtual safety cars because we've had enough of them so far in this race. And this is a big chance for the championship leader to get past Robbie Jacobs. But the guy behind him is closing in on the rate of knots. Surely now Hattegas gets past the Ferrari driver on this main straight. The DRS is wide open. He's right in the slipstream of the Ferrari as the Williams driver will simply just walk past him and go up into first place. There is 12 laps left to go in this race. What's going to happen now? I think Sasha in P3 will definitely get the jump on those two in front of him. And he'll be on course to win the championship indeed. Robbie Jacobs unfortunately will not get his third championship unless something dramatic happens and out of the ball as Fireblaze overtakes Josko for P5 sorry. As he chops across the front wing there of Josko, not allowing him to go back on the outside of him. Oh my goodness me, why? Why have you called safety car turn number 1? Do you know what, that's 2 or 3 people down at turn number 1. That's not a safety car, it's a VSC. So VSC has been deployed, not a safety car. But it won't do Robbie Jacobs any favours because he's just lost a lot of time. But Ralph is out of the race there. He's on a brand new set of soft compound tyres. Why are they crashing under the pit lane? He pitted and he crashed in the tunnel. Why are they doing that? I didn't think it was a hard thing to try and get out of the pit lane exit there. It's not a hard thing whatsoever. I'm not quite sure how drivers are managing that. Let's say if a safety car does come out, then I think every driver will dive in the pit lane and this could be a race attrition, a chaotic race towards the end of the Grand Prix. I really hope that we don't really see a repeat of 2021. It may be good for me, but in terms of the league itself, we don't want a bad reputation, do we? And why has Hattegas got a 5-second gap? And Glowstick has got a penalty for speeding the pit lane. The gap is 5 seconds between Hattegas and Robbie Jacobs. So how on earth has he done that? It's Robbie Jacobs slowing down. DRS has been enabled then. And Robbie Jacobs is really slowing down Sasha. And he's forced him off the track as well. Robbie Jacobs picks a penalty. He's got the DRS in the back of Sasha. He is really trying to grab this championship away. Oh, contact! Oh my goodness me! They're in the wall together and they crashed! They're out of the race! Oh my goodness me! This is a big chance for Hattegas to win the championship. Sasha and Robbie Jacobs are out of the race. Hattegas is going to win this race. Unbelievable scenes indeed in the championship. They both got angry and they both ended in a wall together, and a lot of bad words are going to be exchanged in the chat between those two. A massive blow between those two. Hattegas is in the pit lane. I think other people are going to stay out too. But Fireblaze could win the championship, could he? Could Fireblaze win this championship? Do you know what? There's so many twists and turns in this race. I have no idea who's going to win the championship. Oh my goodness me, there's 10 laps left to go in this race. My heart can't take any more. Mummy Nick is up into P3. Can you believe it as well? Mummy Nick is in P3. Hattegas is on a brand new set of soft compound tyres, but this has ended in disaster. And yeah, I'm not quite sure what to say. Oof. I am absolutely shell-shocked in this race. I'm absolutely flabbergasted and gobsmacked of what has happened here in this race. Oh my goodness me. My heart can't take any more in this race. Never have seen the pendulum swing around so many times. It's like a roundabout. You just don't know which way you're going to go, which exit you're going to take, which way is headed, which direction you're heading in. A lot of gamesmanship. I think Robbie Jacobs was just, yeah, I think the blame has to go to Robbie Jacobs for that one, I'm afraid. I know Sasha defended abruptly against Robbie Jacobs, but he did have a 3-second penalty. Do you know what? I don't know. He was on all video compound tyres. He had a 3-second penalty. And just there it is. Disaster for the championship contenders. Sasha and Robbie Jacobs, they come together, they push too hard, and they both put each other in the wall, out of the race and out of contention. And just like that, the most dramatic fashion imaginable, two of the biggest names in this title fight have been eliminated. They've eliminated each other under pressure. And this is what happens when the stakes are so high. There's no room, no margin, no compromise, and it's ended in catastrophe. And now look at this. The door has been blown wide open for everyone else. Kick leads with Fireblaze right there and Hattikas suddenly back in the picture. The championship has been completely flipped on its head in a matter of seconds. And we still don't know who this championship is going to go towards. There is 10 drivers left to go in this race, and every single driver is guaranteed to score some points tonight. But I still need to do some big maths and figure out who is going to win the championship. Well, I said today, well, I said last week that Sasha had a high chance of winning the championship, but, well, he's out now. And what did I say about Robbie Jacobs? He's a hothead, didn't I? I literally said Robbie Jacobs is a hothead, and he has proven it tonight. The Belgian driver just got his waffles in a twist, unfortunately, and yeah, I don't know what to say about that. I really hoped it didn't end like that. I want to see a pure fist fight towards the end of the Grand Prix. I didn't want to see both of them knocked out just like that. I wanted to fist fight all the way to the end of the race. But who is in the best position now is the question. With Robert and Sasha Hood out, they are effectively out of the title fight. 0 points in double points finale in this catastrophic race. And favourites right now, Hadkas running P4, was already the championship leader coming in this race. His biggest rivals have DNF'd. If he finishes P4 or higher, it is very likely he secures the championship. Fireblaze, his main threat. Now effectively the only driver who could stop Hadkas. He needs to win the race and hope Hadkas does not climb higher. And Kick, well, he's leading the race, but he's so far back in the championship, his main focus is winning this Grand Prix. He don't care about the championship. And Mummy Nick in P3 looking for his first podium. And I doubt it because Hadkas is on a new set of soccer power tyres as well. So Hadkas has the better soccer power tyres in this race. But the simple scenario is Robert out, Sasha out, Hadkas now controls the championship. And with Sasha and Robbie out of this race, the championship now firmly lands in Hadkas' hands. He doesn't need to win it, he just needs to bring it home. But Fireblaze is the one man who can stash it away, and he has got to go for victory here. So this now goes down to Fireblaze and Hadkas. Fireblaze, unlikely suspect, he was the outsider to win the championship, like Oscar Piastri was last year in F1. He's the outsider. The safety car is coming towards the end of this lap, and Kick from the back of the grid is first place. Where did he start? He started on a P13, and now he's running in P1. I told you, watch out for him. He's always a driver to keep your nose on. Not your nose, sorry, your eye on, sorry. Not quite sure why I said nose there. there's going to be any more pandemonium towards the end of the Grand Prix, imagine if Fireblaze and Hartikas make contact. It's going to be a nightmare for the championship drivers there. But the safety car is coming in towards the end of this lap then. And still, there is 8 laps left to go in this race. A dramatic, eventful race, and it's still going on as the safety car is in towards the end of this lap, with Kick in the lead, Fireblaze in P2, Mummy Nick running high in P3, but he's got his Dutch compatriot of Hattekas right behind him on those better soft compound tyres. Where can Hattekas make the move? Normally down it towards turn 5. He's got a good run out of here. Can he make the lunge? He's super close now. He's going to go down the inside, does Hattekas, and he makes the lunge. As Mummy Nick sees it coming now, he moves up into P3, does Hattekas on those soft compound tyres. As you probably tell what I'm doing there. But Hattekas now up into P3 has a big chance to win this Grand Prix and a big chance to win this championship because he is right behind Fireblaze. Don't make contact with him. Remember, he's on a better soft compound tyre, so he has more grip in comparison towards Fireblaze there. So Hattekas, this is his biggest title rival, and he's side by side almost with his title contender indeed. As we head down in towards turn 9, can Hattekas make the move on the outside? No, he can't. Fireblaze plants the car on the inside, but when he go deep, can Hattekas do the under and over, a switchback? And he does do so, but he's still there, side by side with the Dutchman indeed. They make contact going down there in towards turn 12. It's super fine margins between these two, the neck and neck and hammer and tong. But Hattekas moves up into P2 and he's on course to win this championship. My voice is going indeed. After all the carnage that happened at the whole race indeed, has certainly not helped my voice indeed. But who is going to win the race? I definitely dare say it's Hattekas in P2 because it's the better stock compound tyres. What a dramatic ender to this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. So much chaos, so much carnage, especially for a heated championship fight like this. Even 2010 wasn't as dramatic as this. But Fernando Alonso did fail to overtake Vitaly Petrov. He got held up behind him and even blamed Petrov for not letting him go, which was bad there for Alonso. I know Hattekas is a big Alonso fan. I'm not. I'm a massive Alonso. I wouldn't say hater. I'm not a fan of him. Milan Langer is still in this race. There he is in P8, moves ahead of Olai, and Milan could get P5 with those people ahead of him having penalties there in his disposal to use. But Hattekas knows that this is a big chance for him to win this race and wrap up the championship. He said to me earlier on today he might not race, but here he is racing, and you never know what happens. Kicks, unfortunately, but yeah, he's in first place, but I don't think he has no defence in offer to defend against Hattekas, so he might have to let the Williams go and let the Williams go off into the distance there as well. On lap 53, there is 5 laps left to go towards the end of Season 12. Season 12 is almost coming towards the end of his storyline, but there's still more scripts to be written here, still more pages to be left to turn in this Grand Prix, with Hattekas right on the back of the McLaren driver. Where will he force the lunge? Turn 5? Nope, unwise, so probably down at turn 7 he might try and strike a pose down the inside there on Kick. He needs a decent exit here. Kick is weaving left to right. He has fought so hard and valiantly. As Kick is weaving, you can't afford to weave more than once or twice, as Hattekas moves himself up into first place. Remember, Hamilton got a penalty for weaving back in Malaysia against, was it Petrov at the time? As Hattekas goes up into first place. Mummy Nick and the Brewdog are side by side towards the breaker zone, and I think Mummy Nick just stays ahead of Brewdog. Does he? No, he's not. He's on a massive threat there as Kick is trying to go back on the outside. Here he comes down the inside in towards turn 9. Can he take the lead back? Hattekas is defending for dear life on the outside, now has the better exit, but it's still a battle going down in towards turn 12. This twisty final sector where everything can be undone easily, but Hattekas made a mistake. Not sure what happened there, but Hattekas, he made a massive mistake. Luckily, Fireblaze didn't get through. Otherwise, Fireblaze could have a massive chance of winning this championship indeed. But Hattekas can't afford to make any mistakes. He can't afford to get tangled up with Kick in first place. Lap 54. When the safety car came out for Nicholas Latifi, or was it 53? I can't remember now. But Latifi caused a safety car in 2021, and he was loved by some, hated by others. Of course, you could tell which people loved him, which people hated him. Me, I didn't love him or hate him. I think he was a shit driver in general. He was an absolute terrible driver. But here is Gas on the back of kick then. Nick de Vries should have taken his Williams seat back in 2019. He deserved it more than Latifi. Latifi was absolutely shocking. But here comes Gas now with the soft power tyres as the DRS is enabled going down in towards turn number 6 again, but able to make the move there, just biding his time, being patient, and Kick still holding up a deal out there on those medium compound tyres, still fighting back considering Gas has new boots attached to that car. And now Mark seems to be closer, but look at this, Gas there could be under pressure from Fireblades right behind, but Gas there just trying to save up EOS because he knows he has to use it in the attack or defense mode later on in this race. So maybe Gas is just biding his time, saving his battery, waiting for the last lap attack. But you've got to be careful because there's Fireblades in P2 who will take advantage of Gas at any given chance or opportunity in this race. I really hope that Gas doesn't get tangled up in incidents because this is a big chance for this man to win the championship, and it'd be a shame if it all unfolded due to a silly mistake, so we can't afford to make any silly mistakes. Fireblades has got to win if he wants to win this championship. In fact, it'd be equal on points actually if they were to be finished in equal terms. My maths isn't that particularly great. I'm trying to figure it out, and I'm not really good at figuring things out, am I? Yeah, they'll be equal towards the end of the race, actually, between those two, if they were to finish first and second place. But here we go, they're back on board with the Williams and Gas. He needs to make sure that Fireblades does not win this Grand Prix. He needs to make sure that Fireblades stays in P3. And look at this, what's going on here? As off goes Mark there. May got pushed by the outbrook himself against a 3-second attempt indeed. Has to get the place back towards Fireblades, of course. Fireblades goes back up to P3. So I think Gas will be waiting for the final laps of the Grand Prix as Brewdog is ahead of Mark as the Mercedes driver puts himself back into 4th place. Gas though, I wonder how his nerves are holding on here. He must be nervous as hell in this race, knowing that there's a championship on the line and he can ill afford to make any sort of mistake. I know he wants to win the race because every single driver does want to win the race, but there's a championship on the line. It's just the balance and benchmark between the aggression and passion here as well, not passion and passive as well. Knowing when to attack, knowing when to be aggressive as well, and knowing when to overtake. And Gas there just biding his time for the time being, not going to go for the move just yet. The Dutchman is just waiting for the final laps of the Grand Prix. The DRS is enabled. Kick there trying to break the slipstream but not effective enough there. And Gas just saving, but he's forced into a move. No, he's not. He breaks later than Kick. Trying to force Kick into an all-forced error. Trying to make him outbreak himself there. Here he is then gaining on the McLaren driver. Is this a sensible choice to make a move? Maybe trying to go on the outside, but he can't make it stick there. Not enough space or grip for Gas to make the move effective. Lap 57. This is the first lap of the Grand Prix. 5.7 kilometers to go. 3.7 miles to go. Not yet though, because it's lap 57, so we're on the first lap of the Grand Prix. And Gas is just waiting for the right moment to overtake Kick for first place. Just trying to line him up in the right time, the right place, because he knows that Kick will fight it back. There's a massive wheel spin there for Gas. The exit of turn 5, the DRS enabled for the Dutchman. As Fireblades is right behind him. This could be bad news there for Gas. But here he is then. He's forced into an overtake. No, he's not. He's got to watch out. He's got to attack and defend at the same time. So we've got to try and counter Fireblades' attack. He's got to anticipate when Fireblades is going to attack as well. Fireblades wants to win this Grand Prix. He knows that the only way of winning is winning the race. As we head down towards turn 9, not the move. This is going to go down to the last lap of the Grand Prix. Fireblaze versus Kick versus Hatikas. That's massive understeer there for Fireblaze in P3. And he's got Brewdog right behind him. That's the last thing he needs. No! Oh my goodness me, going to settle on the inside. This is the last thing he needs. I don't want this. Oh my goodness me. I think that Brewdog should stop fighting now. That was quite unnecessary there because he does have a 6-second double turn. I know he wants to win on the podiums, but just... Oh my goodness me. Oh, that's totally unnecessary. Yeah, I'm not really happy about this. But yeah, I don't understand why you would do something like that, especially when the guys are putting on a championship fight. I was in a championship fight. I wasn't. I was watching the top 3 in the championship fight in a league race, and I didn't intervene whatsoever. I stayed in 4th place like a good boy and watched the top 3 fight for the championship. I didn't get involved at all. But I'm not quite sure why you do that, especially when you have penalties to your name. It's really cost Fireplace now, as we now have the DRS wide open. I think Hatikas is too far back to make a move on Kick, going down in towards the breaker zone of turn number 7. But what a story this has been, what a comeback this has been for Hatikas, a driver who, not so long ago, struggling to find that consistency, struggling to put the results together in F125. Doubted by many, written off by some, but tonight, under the brightest lights and the greatest pressure of them all, he has delivered when it has mattered most. But here comes Fireblaze, too far back. He didn't need to dominate, he didn't need to win the race, he just needs to stay resilient, composed and intelligent, and he has shown every single one of those qualities in abundance. While others around him faltered, while title rivals collided and cracked under the pressure, Hatikas stayed calm, stayed clinical and kept himself exactly where he needed to be. And this is the mark of a champion, from inconsistency to frustration to fulfillment. This is redemption, this is perseverance there for Hatikas, as Hatikas makes his way around the final corner. Kick will win the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, but Hatikas is the new JSR champion. He has won the championship. What a fantastic season for Hatikas. He has bounced back brilliantly to take the championship and watched other people faltered in this race. He has earned it the hard way, and with that absolute certainty he has deserved it as well. With great wins in the past, great consistency, he has done a mega job in this race and the whole season. Hatikas is your new champion of JSR. He joins the list of Ben Joke, Fireblaze, Milan Langer, Robbie Jacobs, and who else as well? I think that's about it in terms of champions there. But he joins the greatest of them all, and Hatikas is your new champion. He may be underwhelmed by the way he won it, but he still won it. He saw other people crash out in front of him, and he took it by his hands. Jens, very, very happy for the Dutchman indeed. That will do it. That will see out the Season 12 Championship here this season. And thank you all for watching. I know I haven't been here for the whole season, but I'll make more of an effort next season too. And I'll see you all back. But I want to do podium interviews for the top 3. I want to speak to Jens. I really hope that Hatikas will join the podium interviews so I can get to speak to him. There he is, the man of the hour. Yo. Mr. Hatikas, Jens, make sure your voices are shared, and Well, it's very nice to hear from you again. It's been a long, long time since I've interviewed you. And, well, first of all, gefeliciteerd for being the champion. Je bent kampioen, Gatigas. Goed gedaan vandaag. Well done, mate. Top job. And talk us through your feelings and emotions of the whole season. It was a very difficult one, but somehow you are the man. You are the champion.
Ja, dankjewel.
Geen probleem. Is that it? No words for the season? Just dankjewel?
Oh, I should explain. Yeah, I didn't hear that, but wait, what was the question again?
I said, how do you think your season's gone? Like, did you expect to be anywhere near the championship this season? What has been your best races? What has been your worst races? What's been the most challenging races?
Not really, because of the start with, let's say, pretty much unlucky. And later I don't have the pace compared with some guys. But yeah, I think I got more lucky than pace-wise.
Yeah, your pace has you've stepped up this season as well. Because I know on this game you have been struggling with like motivation, and in terms of, like league racing in general, you have been struggling. But your consistency has been one to watch out for. Your consistency is the reason why you're here this season as well. So how do you feel like the season's gone for you? Do you feel like it's a massive step forwards for you?
Yeah, I think maybe a little confidence booster, maybe a bit more motivation, but yeah, I think this helped a bit with it now that I can do more.
What's been your best race of the season, do you think, Jens?
Oh, can I say whole thing like that event with the Giro?
Yeah,
you know?
Of course you can.
Yeah, I think that one with the 3 races being really consistent.
Yeah, I noticed that you were consistent throughout the whole of those 3 races. I think you won one of them, Monaco Grand Prix as well. So yeah, I know.
Yeah, I never do Monaco, so it was a little bit surprising too.
I know I haven't been here for the whole season, so I have missed out quite a lot, yeah. So I don't really have much to like go off on, but yeah, I'm really, really happy to see you back up here. You are the goat cheese, and I'm really happy to see you win a championship, especially JSR as well. You join the likes of Ben Joke, Robbie Jacobs, Milan Langer, Fireblaze, and whoever else has won the championship. I can't really remember, but you join them. You join the Greys as well. And is this a massive booster now in the next season for you?
I don't know what to expect. Hopefully that the steering changed a bit, so for me would be a bit better then. But I don't really I don't know for next season. Depends what the DLC brings me.
Well, fair enough, mate. Thank you for speaking to me. I know you don't like podium interviews, but yeah, I really do appreciate you. I do appreciate you speaking to me. And last time I spoke to you was
my English improved. My English improved.
English was always good, but I don't think you're confident enough, if that makes sense.
Yeah, maybe I think it was with SDN.
Yeah.
That with first time, yeah. I think it's just a big improvement.
It is indeed. But yeah, I want to say thank you very much, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure to watch you race this season when I've seen you race, and the consistency and getting out of trouble as well is what kept you at the top. And what was your reaction when you saw Robbie Jacobs and Sasha hit a crash?
A bit, a bit surprised, to be honest, because I wouldn't won anyway because of old tires, and I only had the old tires left, so I didn't go in with the VSC. But yeah, I was a bit surprised, but on the other hand, a bit happy too, but not like the way I would have done it. You know, it would be a bit better like Lewis Hamilton and Verstappen, something like that or something. Would be, I think, a bit better.
Well, what happened between Hamilton and Verstappen? No, I'm joking. Yeah, I get what you mean. I know you would rather
not like that, but more like a big battle at the end.
That's what I was hoping as well. I was hoping for a big battle between you, Fire, Sasha, Robbie Jacobs, Ryan Benink. But yeah, those two took each other out, and you've got to win a championship one way or another. and you definitely won it by the advantage of those two taking each other out. So, yeah, well done today, mate. You did an absolutely amazing job, and well done to keep composed towards them because you have 5 minutes behind you. So, goed gedaan and top job.
Dankjewel.
Geen probleem. Ik spreek je later, tot ziens.
Yo, houdoe.
So moving on to kick, the race winner kick. You started down in P13, my friend, and you won the Grand Prix. It was a hectic Grand Prix, and you had to slice and carve your way through the field one by one as well, and you made it work towards the Grand Prix. Did you think there was any chance for you to win the Grand Prix today?
First of all, congrats to Jens become season 12 champion. And yeah, I started at P13. It was quite hard in the beginning of the race because I made a mistake by the start and ended up in P17. So I was lost in the first corner, and then I made my move towards the top 5. And yeah, then the safety car helped me a lot. So yeah, it was a nice race, good battles, and yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah, you've driven a beautiful race as well, just making your way to the field as well, slowly but surely, because it looked like at one point you wasn't going to get the podium, but the safety cars brought you contention, and it's at the top 5 as well. And were you a bit nervous with Hartikas on a new set of soft compound tyres, because it looked like the Hartikas for certainty was going to leave you behind in the dust, but you still had some juice on the mid compound tyres and still had some great pace to keep up with him and beat him as well. So are you surprised by that?
No, I was not nervous because I have nothing to lose. And Geitkaas and Fire fighting for the championship, so I can battle very hard against the 2 drivers. But yeah, I was quite surprised that the soft tire was going so good for so long. So yeah.
Well, I think this is your 3rd win this season because you won back at the Chinese Grand Prix, you won back in Azerbaijan. It seemed a long time ago, like it was back in February as well. Now it's April, so it's only been 2 months, but it seems like a long time ago. And I know you've been a reserve driver.
Yeah,
I know you've been a reserve driver this season as well. But if you were here for the whole season, do you think that you could have had a chance for the championship, considering how your pace has been ever since you joined?
I think yes, because I did 4 races and my and I ended up in P1, 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 and P2. So yeah, but we don't know. Maybe not, but I think it was a chance to win this season. But yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Congrats to Geitkaas.
Congrats to hear.
Yeah, he deserved it.
Well, thank you very much, Kick, for your input. It's been a pleasure to hear from you. Another phenomenal drive from the back of the field to win here in Abu Dhabi as well. I know it's been a bit overshadowed by Geitkaas in the championship, but your drive does not go unnoticed. You've done equally as a good job as well at Geitkaas. So congratulations today, mate, on a win.
Yeah, thank you, mate.
You're welcome, mate. You're welcome, mate. No worries. So that is the end of JSR. Then season 13, I think, could be on the new F1 game on the DCL or DLC. Sorry. So hopefully that's we're back with you in a few months' time. But for here, Geitkaas is your new JSR champion. He becomes the 4th Dutchman to win the championship. Robbie Ackles, of course, being the Belgian driver. Venjo being a repeated 7-time champion in JSR. I'm not quite sure how he did it, but he has done it. But yeah, Geitkaas is your new champion, so congratulations to him. And we'll see you all later. Goodbye for now. Take care. Tot ziens. Ik spreek je later. Dankjewel.